Europe imports about 4 million barrels per day of Russian crude, of which 0.8 is through pipelines. If, let's say, the 0.8 can't go anywhere else, and let's say out of the remaining 3.2, 1 million, perhaps 2 doesn't find a new home, that would be a very material disruption, which would require either a coordinated deep OPEC action or would need some form of demand rationing pricing.
Can I ask you what it means in terms of renewables as well? If we do have this embargo on oil coming from Russia, is there enough money when it comes to reinvestment? We know a lot of the oil companies have been trying to reinvest and pivot their businesses away from traditional oil. Is the money going to be there, do you think, to accelerate that process?
The money will be there, but it needs better returns. I think the returns offered in renewable power in the last 2 years were too tight to really allow the level of investment that we need here, which across the energy space will be $1.4 trillion. And we think that we need to reach $2.5 trillion per annum by the middle of the next decade. So returns need to improve, but we think there is enough capital around. And by the way, it's not just renewable power, it's power networks that need to be upgraded. It's charging network for EVs, it's hydrogen for the seasonal component. This will be the biggest energy investment cycle we have seen in decades.
When it comes to the investment needed and the CapEx needed to fund the transition, how does the CapEx intensity compare for renewable projects versus hydrocarbons?
It's a very important point, and thank you for bringing it up. It's when we look at renewables, through the cycle, given their long life, their low OPEX, and their low cost of capital, they can often be comparable with hydrocarbon solutions. But the CapEx intensity is much higher. It's between 2 and 3 times that of hydrocarbons. So if we want to shift more and more towards renewables and low carbon, it will require higher CapEx. And this is why I think we keep going back to the fact that profitability needs to be good enough, because we need to unlock $1.4 trillion in the next 3 years.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning.